We're putting these I think I just broke them. This might be broken. But we're putting them head to head and to see which one, oh my God. What is up, my creative family? Thank you so much for coming back for another video. If you're new here, this is a channel where we talk about filmmaking, tips, tricks, tutorials, everything pretty much related to filmmaking. Today we are talking about two smartphone gimbals, the MOZA Mini-Mi versus the Zhiyun Smooth 4. Before we start, I just want to mention a quick side note. The MOZA Mini-Mi was sent to me because of some Instagram challenge or something. I submitted one of the videos I had made about their products before, and I had won, and they sent me this as a free gift. I'm not being paid for this review, and the Smooth 4 I purchased on Amazon with my own money, and the links for both items will be listed below. This is an epic battle where only one winner shall prevail. Actually, a little spoiler, they're both pretty good. It just depends on what you're looking for. But anyways, let's get back into this epic battle. Both gimbals have a charging port, so you can charge it with a wall plug, or you can use a power brick or USB adapter type thing. The MOZA Mini-Mi uses a USB connector, and the Zhiyun Smooth 4 uses a USB-C connector. Both these gimbals will charge your phone. There are some differences, we'll get into that later. Both gimbals are pretty well constructed. They are both made of plastic. The Smooth 4 feels a little bit less slippery in the hand, if that makes any sense, and the Mini-Mi feels a little bit smoother type plastic. Both, I mean, not the highest quality plastic, but they're relatively cheap, so that's what you get. Both have a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom, so you can either screw on the tripod legs they come with, or you can mount it to a plate and put it on a tripod itself. Both have a sleep mode, so you can keep the gimbal on, but just quickly bring it into the sleep mode. Both gimbals have an adjustment that allows you to use your phone in portrait or landscape, which might be good for all those IGTV users out there. All four of you. They both adjust to your smartphone very quick and easy using a little knob on the back. You just slide the roll arm, yaw arm, whatever arm that is, you just slide it in and out. Very, very simple. In my testing, I only used both of these gimbals with a iPhone 7 and a 7 Plus. They can both do a vertical simulation setting. I found that the Mini-Mi was pretty easy to use. Just one click of the button, it auto zooms and you can just control your movement from there. Each have buttons on the outside which can be used alongside each gimbal's app to control and have different options over the camera and the gimbal itself. They both have quick press buttons and dials. Batteries both last for a very long time. There was no problem filming all day long with them. Both have different follow modes. The modes are slightly different, and how you get to those modes are slightly different, but they both have a variety of different follow modes, such as pan follow, or all locked. They both come in their own cases. I forgot to film B-roll of those cases, so go online and check out those cases. One thing I did want to note though is that I did have to have stabilization in both apps turned on. When they weren't turned on, there was some micro jitters and some shake evident while using either gimbal. So it's just, I think smartphone gimbals themselves are really light. Smartphones are light. I think either the iPhone stabilization or the app stabilization, whatever you're using, you need to have that turned on. You're gonna get much better footage. So as I mentioned before, they both have sleep modes, but they are different. The Mini-Mi goes to sleep by pushing the start button quickly once. It just drops off and goes to sleep. The Smooth 4, you actually have to crank it down into a little locked position. That locking feature is also pretty nice when you want to store the gimbal. It's not flopping around. The biggest thing about the Mini-Mi is it's the first smartphone gimbal to have wireless charging. The Smooth 4 can charge your smartphone, but it uses a micro USB port on the top, which is kind of awkward. The MOZA Mini-Mi has a joystick. It has a 4-way joystick to control the movements of the gimbal you can use with your thumb. It works very well if you're into that. And this control wheel is important in the Mini-Mi because in inception mode, you can actually use that to roll the axis as you're moving in and out. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's obviously a very specific movement or look, but hey, if you need that, this gimbal does it. You can mount your smartphone in the Mini-Mi in any direction and it'll figure out the rest, which is helpful depending on which smartphone you have and where your camera is placed. The Smooth 4 cannot. It can only be mounted in one direction. The Smooth 4 does not have a thumb control stick. Instead, it has a giant focus wheel on the side and it has a trigger on the back. The trigger is how you activate all follow mode. So when you hold that trigger down and you start to move and pan and tilt the gimbal, it'll actually follow all modes. I will talk a little bit more about the control wheel after, but it really doesn't do anything. It's kind of laggy. I don't know. It's kind of big. Myself, I wouldn't really use it. The great thing about the Mini-Mi is that a lot of the hardware buttons work outside of the app. So if you're looking to rotate the gimbal and face you, that button works. If you're looking to go into inception mode, that button works as well. If you need to reset the gimbal's angle, that reset button works also. And the gimbal mode switch buttons, they work as well. So you don't necessarily have to be in the app to use the buttons. Whereas a Smooth 4, literally other than the trigger, the rest of the buttons won't do anything. The Zhiyun Smooth 4 has ZY Play, and in that app you can do things like change your camera settings. You can use it to rack focus or to zoom in and out using the wheel. Similarly with the MOZA Mini-Mi, you can use the app to zoom in, start and stop recording using the hardware buttons, change all the camera settings as well. I wasn't a fan of either app, but if I had to say one app that worked a little bit better, it would have been the ZY Play app. I just like the way the icons were laid out in a square. It was easy to get to if I had to change anything. The Mini-Mi relies on this like kind of wheel. Personally, I just felt that those apps really were a bit clunky. The more things that stand in your way to actually getting that thing done, I find you just want to cut it out. To me, if I throw on the Filmic app and just use that, the Filmic app just works. You have your settings there and you get high quality every time. Here we are at the end. We've put both gimbals head to head. We've talked about the similarities and the differences. Now at the time of this video, the MOZA Mini-Mi comes in at $109 US and the Smooth 4, the Zhiyun Smooth 4 comes in at $139. When someone's looking at this gimbal, you really have to decide, do you use a thumbstick controller while you're using a gimbal? If you're a huge fan of that, then the Mini-Mi is the way to go. If you're tight on price, the Mini-Mi is the way to go. If you love wireless charging, Mini-Mi. If you need inception mode and you're super into that filmmaking technique and you really want to rotate the camera 360, you need the Mini-Mi. Or if you're a Filmic Pro fan and you don't want to use the Gimbals app and you want to still have some control over the gimbal using the buttons, MOZA Mini-Mi does that a lot better. However, if you're not a big fan of the thumbstick and you need a bigger grip, something chunkier, something that feels less slippery in the hand, that would be the Smooth 4. If you like the idea of the trigger to start and stop the follow movement of the gimbal, then Smooth 4. If you really like rack focusing with a control wheel that kind of works somewhat, or zooming in and out with a focus wheel, then you're gonna need the Smooth 4. But at the end of the day, they're both great gimbals. They both get the job done. And I think at this point, it comes down to a couple features and a couple items of preference. Also, I do want to mention that I did go out and also get this, it's like a machined aluminum tripod. This thing is a beast. It literally, like, the picture shows somebody standing on it and I have no doubt that you could stand on it. It is solid. It has a little ring at the top where if you turn it, it'll allow it to go down flatter. And if you rotate it back, the tripod will stay upright a little bit more. But it is a beast. It comes with some straps. There's some holes on each leg and that allows you to put the strap through the leg and then tie it down if you need to strap it down. But it's awesome tripod. It might be a little bit overkill for these gimbals, but I certainly use it on something like a MOZA Aircross. I also have a review for that. You can check out that in the card up here or in the link below. So that's it guys for today. I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments below if you're picking one up, which one you like and why. If you want more filmmaking tips and tricks and some gear reviews, please subscribe and give this video a like if it helped. And I will see you in the next one.